Very odd. It's supposed to be starting and nothing's happening. I'm not seeing any timer going on here. I don't know what's going on. Not seeing any timer going on. It's blinking. There's 75% power. Let me see if I can hear myself. 75% power. Well, it must be broadcasting, but for some reason the timer is not indicating anything, which is nuts. Yes, I am on late because I had to restart. Slower than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a snail, able to leap tall cat dishes in a single bound. Which is nuts. I was on earlier, but the software kept screwing up. So I don't know. Rush died. Rush Limbaugh died today at 70 of stage 4 lung cancer. He smoked these giant cigars. He used to be on Cigar Aficionado magazine on the cover all the time. And like Art Bell with his smoking, Art Bell had advanced heart disease, died supposedly of a drug overdose. I don't believe it. Still don't believe it to this day. I think he was done in by parties unknown. But Art smoked like a fiend, so did John Wayne. And, ingesting nicotine and nicotinous substances into your body, tars and burnt ashes of a tobacco plant is not healthy in the long run. So I'm very saddened about Rush, and now I'm going, what am I going to listen to at 9 o'clock in the morning when I wake up and I can't get back to sleep? I've been doing that for 33 years. When I got off work, I would listen to Rush in the morning. I would listen to Art Bell at night or to Larry King until the wee hours, and then the stock report would come in at 5 a.m. When I worked graveyard, I'd come home, listen to Rush for an hour and go to sleep, and then would watch the replays on YouTube. And I love Mark Levin. I love Mark Stein as guest host, but who's going to take over? I guess Mark Stein may have to. It was very funny. Yeah, my dad smoked Lucky Strikes. He wound up with emphysema, and that killed him. Well, while I was off, I now got to put the stuff away. And if I move this, I know it's going to fall. The Safeway bag keeps falling on the floor. It's driving me nuts. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Steady. Bad bag. Alright, this was all full of paperwork. It's now empty. Oh, there's more stuff underneath. I missed something. So I threw all this stuff into the recycling can. And, I'm not sure what the hell. Oh, okay. This is paperwork I've been looking for that I couldn't find. So I have now, I put away a whole bunch of stuff earlier. Thank God I put away a whole stack in the file folders. And then sitting here was more stuff I got to put away in the file folder. Bills and records and things I need to keep. So I have 3 kitties, but I feed 6 more, sometimes 7. I have Fluffy, Fuzzy, little girl, Fluffy the male tuxedo cat, Fuzzy the female little tiny baby cat, and little girl the all black cat, and I feed Mama Cat the gray tabby, Kitten the gray and white tabby. I've been feeding them for about 7 years. Orangey the orange tabby, 7 years. Tiny One the little black cat, Pretty gray tabby across the street, little sweet gray, and sometimes Pretty gray and other kitties that show up in the balcony, including Tiger, who lives across the street, who was the favorite of my friend Ted, who died. And Tiger loved Ted. So I've had Kitty, and my girlfriend has 2 cats. So no, I don't think Glenn Beck, because Glenn Beck got driven off a fox for something. I don't think Glenn Beck would take over. There was some thing where Left harassed the hell out of him, and he got driven off of Fox News. So I don't. He's on Blaze, but I think he quit his show on Blaze. I don't know where he's at. He's on the internet somewhere. You're not going to have Bill O'Reilly. He got driven off Fox by the left, accusations of sexual harassment. So, thank you. I got this from an eBay seller in Poland. I do not eat jalapeno with anything. And I would not eat cream cheese and chicken on a chicken sandwich. So, sorry, you're never going to see me taste test that sucker, because jalapeno, I have a ulcer that has returned, and I forgot to take the damn Prilosec before I ate my salad. And there goes the phone. And so I don't eat jalapenos, ghost peppers, anything like that, because I will be in agony. So I guess I'll take this now. My doctor wants me to take this an hour before I eat anything, and I keep forgetting either to take it or take it for an hour. And then I got to pay for it, which is a whole nother animal. So I've never heard of Lebanon bologna, or bologna, bologa. I never heard of that. So, but this is my Superman, George Reeves. Not to forget about Kirk Allen, the serial Superman and 2 Superman serials. Not to forget about the Paramount cartoon Superman, who I think my friend Paul told me it was voiced by Bud Collyer, the Superman on radio. And then there was Christopher Reeve, may he rest in peace as well, and then Dean Cain, and Henry Cavill, and Brandon Routh. And if there was any other Superman I missed out, there's Superboy, there was the midget, the little person who played the Super Pup in the pilot, The Adventures of Super Pup. There was a Superboy TV series. There was a Superboy pilot after George Reeves died. And then there was, I heard his name tonight, and I forgot it immediately. I was watching the 75th anniversary tribute of Superman, and then the 80th tribute, Halliday, can't remember his first name, the musical that lasted about 3 months on Broadway in the 60s, and then they did a terrible TV rendition with Leslie Ann Warren, who tried out for Lois Lane, and I frankly think she would have been a far better Lois Lane than Margot Kidder. So, there is an In-N-Out Burger about 6 miles from my house, but Kathy and I have eaten there twice. And both times, well, it went in and it went out, and we were in severe distress, so we don't eat at that place. I will watch the new Superman show when it come out. I like the looks of the new Superman. They're married. They have super children or something. Of course, you have a danger when you put kids in the mix. The characters usually they put kids in the mix, and the whole show goes down the hill because they're concentrating on the kids and not the story of the couple. It worked with Bewitched, but it failed with Get Smart. So they had 99 Max get married, and she had babies. So it's and then Supergirl, Melissa Benoit, I may probably mispronounce her name. I love the show, but she's left to concentrating on raising her child. She got pregnant and had a baby. So, nothing wrong with bologna. It's made out of beef and I think pork and maybe chicken, depending. I've eaten it for years. Maybe the man I am today, the man of flab. So, among other things. But I just had a big bag of salad with tomatoes and a big can of chicken. Gave some to the cats. Fuzzy's sleeping on the bed. Little girl is somewhere. She's probably in the bedroom window, and so is Fluffy. So, welcome, Alberto. Any stocks? No, I wish I had. It's just like the two stocks now that I'm cringing about when I see them is GameStop, which was at 15, and Apple, which is at 15 years ago. Should have bought Apple. I'd be a rich man today. Kept meaning to, never got around to it. Just like buying back in the 70s 1/10 ounce coins of gold that were $70 a piece. And there goes the screen again. So, teeth are not, well, as you can see, I'm missing teeth. So I've been there, got the teeth. And this one's loose. And it hurts. My iPad, I dropped my iPad. My hands go numb from time to time. I dropped my iPad, hit the tooth, and made it loose. So I feel for you. Perhaps you could take some peanut butter and stuff it up there. I'm just kidding, but might help with things getting into the socket. In the old days, they would sew the socket shut and it healed faster. Now they leave it open. I think it's a big mistake. But I definitely feel for you. So I have always been into George Reeves and the Adventures of Superman. But I will say, when I went to the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, I cried, and I had a return of either a very severe shoulder electrical impulse attack or a seizure or something, because I went numb and I got so excited, my whole side of my body went numb. My friend Glenn had to help me out of the theater. And they marketed that film, Suddenly You'll Believe a Man Can Fly. Well, I've been there too. I went flying on the bus on New Year's Eve when the driver hit the brakes, and I went flying when Judy the Labrador came up, loomp, 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 when I was about 10, and went through the screen door and the glass door and down the stairs. She put her paws on me. So, tannic acid and tea. Yeah, there used to be these poultices you would get in a yellow package, and I can't find them. And they had cinnamon in them, and I think ginger and black tea, and you'd put them on any, canker sore in your mouth, aching tooth, swollen tooth. You had to have hot water, and after a while it gets pretty grungy, but you had to have hot water, and you'd stick it in your mouth, and it stopped the pain. So, Anbesol helps too, but I wouldn't put it on an open socket. So, of course, I'm a little different in most of my teeth. When I was 14, I had 4 wisdom teeth pulled in one day, all in the back, all the wisdom teeth. And an hour after I got home, I woke up and had a bowl of my mother's homemade chicken soup, and I was fine. So chicken soup does wonders. And I make very good chicken soup. Kathy likes it. One day, if I ever meet a lot of my subscribers, I hope to have some kind of set up where there's like, 40 or 50, couple 100-gallon vats of chicken soup, and I could make chicken soup with everybody. And then I have to learn to make matzo balls. Noodles I can do. Yeah, dry socket. Well, I had this back here during January, and it was like an abscess. But the trick to that was I finally figured out if I rinse my mouth out with medium hot salt water several times a day. Well, it dried it up. It killed it. So, um, I'm not. My doctor talked about dry socket too, because they pulled one tooth over here or over here, and that hurt like. And there was one back here, and it hurt like down here. It hurt like hell for months. So, and if I ever became rich, I'd have my teeth put implants in. My like the Grays would put them in. So, you're a little funny looking for a dentist. You don't say much, do you? And how come you're not wearing a white smock? You keep probing me all the time, and it's not with a drill, and I don't like it. It lights up, and it's very painful. Keep sticking my navel. Anyway, so I was wondering, I was listening to George Norrie. He had a pretty good show on the night about exorcism, which fascinates me, demonic possession, and all of that. I firmly believe in the forces of evil beyond the beyond. If you listen to Art Bell back in the day, may he rest in peace. I got to asking a friend of mine, do you believe the Area 51 caller was real? I heard it the night the guy called. I don't think he was fake. My friend thinks he was. And this guy came up 15 years later claiming to be the Area 51 caller, but I don't think you can fake that kind of sheer panic. And that night and a successive night, Art Bell got knocked off the air. There was a directed EMP pulse at his antenna and his satellite dish, and his engineers said, someone directed a pulse to knock you out of the air. And it was not on your land. It was directed at your equipment. That's why I don't think the guy was fake. And I'd have to go and ask George Norrie, if I ever see him in person, what the original date for that show and the subsequent show. He had a guest on. He got knocked off the air a second time. Never did figure out why. It was his uplink from his house in Pahrump. This is before he had Premiere, to the network in Oregon through the satellite link. So, and then there was the Area 51 overflyer who claimed he was flying in the Area 51. His girlfriend sent Art a cryptic message, but with the name, or he sent Art a message, and then the guy supposedly flew into Area 51, and they shot him down. My favorite food place, not much lately, because everything, we've been locked down until recently. No indoor eating, no outdoor eating. I graze in here a lot, and I'm getting tired of eating inside here. We like Nation's Hamburgers. We like Red Robin. We like Cinnabon. We like Emma Villas in Livermore for ribs. We like Harry's Hofbrau in San Ramon, but no, in El Cerrito. No, where the hell is it? It's San Leandro, sorry. And but that requires, and same in Livermore, requires a car. So Chronic Tacos. I've never heard of what are chronic tacos? Is it like tacos with really bad heartburn? I don't know what the hell. What is a chronic taco? I've never heard of a chronic taco. Excuse me, you have chronic taco and you have 6 months to live. Oh no. So I don't know about that. What Red Robin's service has gone down, their quality has gone down. That's why they're having problems. They taco cheat. No, never. I see all these street tacos. I see there by the Shell station here. There's a I don't know if they park it there or they're permanently there. I've noticed it's open. There's a taco truck there. One day I'll have to try them. I go to Taco Bell, but it's been a long time, and I go to Jack in the Box, and it's been a while. And I've had Jack in the Box when I get really hungry on the first of the month, and there's nothing else open, particularly on Thanksgiving when there was nothing open. I hadn't delivered Jack in the Box to me, and it was very expensive. So, yeah, chronic tacos. Okay. Which is better than colic tacos, I guess. So anyway, oh my God, Ponderosa Steakhouse. I think they've gone the way of all things. I used to eat at the Ponderosa Steakhouse, the Bonanza Steakhouse. The Bonanza used to give free steaks on your birthday. I think the Ponderosa may as well. And there was, I think Ponderosa maybe, or Bonanza, even when I lived in Las Vegas, it was on the grounds of what became the MGM Grand. Of course, in 1968, I was watching I've been watching episodes of Vegas with Robert Urich, if I'm pronouncing the name right. That's Dan Tena. And he's driving by, and they're showing like 99-cent breakfast. You can't even get a cup of coffee for 99 cents now. And they advertise, I think back then, I know when Kathy and I went to Reno years ago, and I went to Reno in the 80s, you could get steak and eggs for like $1.99, and they weren't bad steaks back then. So, um, you know, I don't remember if Ponderosa had a tie-in to the television show or not, but they seemed to be everywhere at one point. Oh, there goes the screen again. So, um, there's still the Sizzler on Willow Pass in Concord disappeared. There was one in Oakland. It disappeared. I saw a Sizzler that's still alive on San Pablo Avenue in Albany. We used to go Sizzler a lot, mostly for the salad bar, not so much for the steaks. Kathy would get the grilled chicken or fish or something, and I would get it. I would get the salad bar every once I get a steak, but it got too expensive. Oh, let's see, it's mile to the bridge, 15 miles to Fairfield, and then another 40 or 60 to Sacramento. I used to live in Sacramento, so hour and a half, let's say, but the traffic is nuts. I've never been to Marysville. I'm not sure. I think Marysville is on the other side of Sacramento, Woodland, and going up Highway 5. So I've never been there. Hello, Sam Green, eggs and ham. Or you could pronounce that differently, sand, green eggs, sand ham, which wouldn't be exactly tasty if you have sand all over your ham and eggs, but welcome. So, but not having a car since a year and a half. Let's see, October, November, December, January, almost a year and a half. Year and 5 months, our car died. We don't go much of anywhere because we can't. And then, of course, everyone was wearing the mask. Remember when masks were worn only by bank robbers and superheroes and Zorro? I long for the days we won't be wearing masks again. They gave a figure the other day, 11% of the people in the country have been vaccinated. So I'm slowly working on cleaning up my apartment because once they have 75%, they'll inspect this place, and I got to get this place straightened out, and I got to get a caregiver. So they canceled me for caregiver because I didn't have one, but they gave me a list of caregivers. So well, anyway, that's how that goes. So lately, I've been doing I had the Pfizer virus given to me, not virus, vaccine. Sorry, no live virus, or so they say. And a Modesto, I think it was Modesto or Vallejo policeman died of complication from COVID. That's the second member of that police force to die in the hospital. Died today. Sad. And I do not believe anybody who says that the COVID-19 is a hoax. I think they're being stupid. Too many people, too many famous people have died from it. But I got it, I'm taking things off the floor here. Made my lips numb. Burning at the injection site. Eyes were burning. Did clear up my sinuses for a while. And I couldn't sleep for like 12, 15, 17 hours I was awake. I thought it was 24. And then when I did sleep, all I've been doing since last Friday is sleep. So no, I really am tempted to go in when I have the second shot with my alien mask or my kitty cat mask or my grunge mask. Excuse me. And then you got all this rain, and there is major allergy pollens in the area. If I weren't so I look like Sergeant Garcia more than Zorro now, but if I weren't so overweight, I would love to go in there dressed as Zorro. I'm here for my vaccine. I will fight the COVID. I am Zorro. That's the other guy. If I had a chance to become Superman, I would become Zorro. So, not Batman. He works too hard. All that swinging. I've always wondered what happens if he throws a batarang and he misses, or the cornice is like weak from corrosion. The concrete breaks and he falls to his death or something. So it could be dangerous to be Batman, Or he picks the wrong place to climb in, and some guy sees him and he thinks he's peeping Tom and shoots him or something. Could be hazardous to be Batman. So, late at night I try to call George Norrie, but the wild card line rings and then hangs up, and the east of the Rockies line says that it's full, and then the west of the Rockies line rings for a while, and then it says the mailbox is full. So, and I've written George and that, and I haven't got an answer. So, no, I did not listen to KFBK because I woke up at one point. I called Meals and Wheels, brought my food. I called Kathy. I asked the clock to set for 2 o'clock, the dot. And if you haven't heard it, I'll let you hear it. Computer, weather for Martinez now.
In Martinez, it's 47 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Tonight, you can look for cloudy skies moving in and out, with a low of 42 degrees.
No, computer, set timer for 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Just so you want to hear the alarm sound. George Norrie does the paranormal. George Norrie does entertainment. Conservative talk show radio people are not going to listen to George Norrie. It's not going to happen. George Norrie is a nighttime animal. Rush is a daytime animal. So there's little girl. Little girl. My sweetheart. So I think they might have Mark Levin's on Fox, though, so I don't think they can get Mark Levin. I think they would go with Mark Stein. I can't see or Hannity might take over the show. Hannity had his own radio show and dropped it. He was too busy, so I don't think they'd put in Michael Savage. He gets too weird. And I can't think of anybody else in the conservative field. It's not going to be Glenn Beck, because he got forced off of Fox. And he just quit his Blaze show. And computer, stop. So I got tired of saying Alexa, so I say computer. I changed it. There is no way except someone claims they hack it to give them all these devices, the Nest, the Apple speaker, whatever it's called, and the Google all have female voices. I think it's a woke conspiracy. So, no. I just set that for 1 minute so you'd hear what the alarm sounds like when I set it to wake me up. But lately I've been going back to sleep all the time. I slept from 2 to 4 today and didn't know Rush was dead until I saw on YouTube. No, I saw an email that a conservative column sent me the notice his wife got on the air and made the announcement. So, and then we have the interesting thing of Larry King's widow now is trying to contest the will. She's the executor, but she's trying to contest. They inspect the apartment for safety. They inspect the apartment because it's irritating, and they get the little go. Ah, it's too fast for me. Too fast. Well, I would have to get my teeth repaired. I would have to move to San Francisco because it'd be real difficult without a car to go on the air, and I'd have to work out of KSFO. That's the only radio station nearby me that I know of, except one's in Walnut Creek, and they play rock music. So, and I'm not in the best of physical health. I mean, I'd have to get the EIB recliner. Sit in the recliner and chew on bubblegum cigars, which would cause another health hazard. I'd lose the rest of my teeth. So, I would love to do my own radio show, but I've got the trolls to deal with. EIB, Excellence in Broadcasting. I'd probably hawk Rush Limbaugh's golden microphone till they send me my first paycheck. I need the money. I have a Kathy to support. No, they inspect it to make sure that the stove works, which it hasn't worked right since I moved in here. The burners keep burning out. The sink, the toilet, all the lights, the smoke alarm, and the general condition of the apartment. And right now this apartment's a mess. So I just spent the time while I was waiting for the phone to recharge to I've got a barrel of recyclables. I've got a bag of garbage, and I swept a considerable amount off the kitchen floor. And before I go to bed, I will move everything from the corner out here, sweep the floor, and then tomorrow when I get up, I will take the Glorioski Lysol deodorizing cleaner, and I will pour it on the floor and mop the floor tomorrow. I'll move everything out of the way, and then I will mop the kitchen floor, and then that will be done. I ordered a new can opener. I didn't want to order the new 12-drawer storage unit, which I'm going to put where all that laundry is for my clothing and bedding. So, who is the next radio host to die? Well, I'm not up on my current radio host. There's Jim Bohannon. There is, oh God, what is her name? Kim Komodo. There's Dr. Laura, who is part of Premier Radio Network, as Rush was, as George is. Jim Bohannon used to be on Mutual. I don't know what network he's working from. I think he may. I'd have to look in Talkers, and I haven't looked at the Talkers website. It's a radio website that ranks talk shows. There's Opie and Anthony. If Anthony or Opie came back, there's one of them still around, I think. I'm not sure about that. They were on Sirius. It's going to have to be a conservative. It can't be a liberal. It can't be a rhino. It can't be a neocon. So, yeah, they do have a 15-second delay machine, but they cost about $15,000. And how are you going to stop a troll if he's nice for the first 15 seconds and then he drops the F-bomb or something, or talks about my doing things to Kathy, which I don't do. So Of course, I could do a recorded show and then not have it go live and it gets broadcast later. Then you could edit everything out. Kathy barely heard of Rush Limbaugh. She doesn't listen to Rush. She sleeps in the morning. She sleeps in till God knows when. And then tells me a weird dream she has. How the cats are jumping on her back. How she had to go to the bathroom. How her back is hurting and other things. So, and Larry King, I don't think she ever watched or listened to Larry King. But I listened to Larry King on Mutual with his stories about the old neighborhood and Carvel ice cream and Mappo. And the guy was Zig Ziglar, I think, his friend, was a motivational speaker. And then I watched his shows on CNN, Larry King Live, and then the one he did after CNN, and all the UFO shows. He was big into UFOs. I watched the one at Area 51, and I think he did one in the Phoenix Lights. So I was big into Larry King. So Republican in name only, like Mitt Romney, like anyone against Trump and the who voted for impeachment, Lisa Murkowski, and there are about 7 Republicans who voted to impeach him. They're not really Republicans. If you vote to impeach the leader of your party and the president of the United States, you're not a real Republican. You're the deep stater. So the late John McCain was a Republican in name only. He voted nay to not overturn Obamacare, and then he died after saying in his campaign he would vote to repeal Obamacare. So now trolls are online people who get into chat rooms, who get into websites, who create fake podcasts, and they lie and slander about people. And I've unfortunately got trolls. And yeah, Russia has their own network, and they constantly say on YouTube, this is funded by the Russian government. Like I really give a damn. They have a network that's supposedly funded by the Chinese government. If it's an interesting YouTube video, I'll watch it. So, and I tried to watch a video with Edward Snowden today, and it was done by NBC, and they asked him about Trump, and he immediately said negative stuff about Trump, so I shut it off. So, Jim Ross, no, I'm not going to have wrestling. I'm not going to have a wrestler. The only other person I could think of, and whether or not that would be a gimmick, or he'd really do it, would he want to leave Mexico, is Jesse Ventura. You could have another guy, oh God, I'm terrible at names anymore. Belzer, Richard Belzer, co-wrote a book on the missing Malaysian flight with George Norrie. He could try it. You could have the other conspiracy guy, and I got his books, but I can't think of his name either. He did a whole series on, like, they investigated the Masons and they investigated the background of the Constitution in Washington. Brad Meltzer. You could maybe have him on. I'm assuming both those guys are conservatives, but I do not want someone like Michael Reagan on there. He is not a conservative as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know of anybody else. So now the trolls are going back 20 years when I was the co-moderator of a Republican discussion board on a website. They are liberals. Some of them are Obama liberals. Some of them are just plain leftists. They don't like the fact that I'm on Social Security income. They don't like, they say I should go to work all the time, even though I'm going to be 69 years old in April. And I have severe disabilities, physical disabilities, and other problems. There's a bottle of no, now it's on the floor. Empty. Ow, ow, there's my, ow. I bent there on my knee. They accuse me of hitting my girlfriend, which is ridiculous, and she said that in about 15 videos. I don't do that. She lives 15 miles from here. It's a little hard to hit her when she's not here. So, yeah, that might be fun. Donald Trump hosting the EIB, but yes, he is Ronald Reagan's adopted son. The problem with Trump is that he would have to moderate the way he talks, because he crosses the line too often. I love him dearly, but he crosses the line too often. And it's like engaging your mouth before your brain is in gear, and he gets into trouble. So, and every leftist nut in the country would call up to interrupt his show. So, one thing about Rush, he's steadfastly defended conservatism all his life, and was a true conservative. He's not a fake conservative like guys who run for Congress or the presidency, and then you find out they aren't conservative at all. They just pay lip service to it to get elected or reelected. So, but I'm not doing anything illegal, untoward, or anything else. I just struggle through the month with my bruised knees that will take months to heal, and I'm hobbling around, and it hurts to even hobble around in the kitchen, because this knee, the right knee, is the bad knee. So when I fractured 15 years ago, they never fixed. I got to lose the gut, and first of the month I will go get probably 3 cartons of Slim Fast and drink 2 a day instead of 1, because 1 didn't seem to do much good. So, there goes the screen again. I've never heard of Luke Bryan, so I couldn't tell you. You give me names I don't know. I listen to Mark Levin, Mark Stein when he's a guest host, occasionally Glenn Beck, and the guy from Red Eagle Politics would be great, but he's kind of young, and I don't think he has a following off YouTube. He's a true conservative. He's a Trumpian. So, yeah, I think they will, but our Secretary of State is playing games. They've got 1.5 million signatures, and our Democratic Secretary of State claims only 400,000 are valid. Now, we've seen this before. You're not allowed to mention on YouTube what election we've seen it before was, but you know what it was. So I think he's pulling games with the signatures. I think that there are 1.5 million signatures, and you might get 100,000 or 200,000. They're not valid, but you don't go from 1.5 million to 400,000. It's like the election in reverse. They have till March to get enough signatures to qualify. So I think he's playing games to make sure that Gavin Newsom won't get thrown out of office. No, I have not, because I was waiting till I got to the emergency room to have my knees checked. Here is the claim form. And now that I've been to the emergency room, except for one paragraph, I'm going to go down to my lawyer friend and ask him, what does this paragraph mean? And I still don't know what it means. If amount claim total less than 10,000, state the estimated amount of any prospective injury, damage, or lot insofar as it may be known of the date of the presentation of this claim, together the basis for computation of the amount claimed. I have no idea what that means. How can I possibly fill out something I don't know what's going to happen in the future? And the post office lady, they said, "Have you seen an attorney?" And I said, "The problem is when I got injured in August at the hospital by a hospital worker, no attorney would take my case. They were all too busy." Well, I have to have surgery eventually on this knee, but they won't on the right knee because I fractured it and there's cartilage chipped in it, which is what part of the reason I'm in constant pain before this happened, before I was crushed in the bed in August. But they won't operate till I lose weight. I'd have to lose 100 pounds, I figure. I'm 68 years old. I'm not, because I went to the ER because if I go to my primary care doctor, they wanted me to have a COVID test, which I've already had, and then it takes a month and a half to see the doctor, and then, before that, every time I move my knee, it's hurting now. Before that, you have to go get a video visit, which is a pain in the ass. So, go to the ER, had the handicap bus take me, spent 6 hours in there, 7 hours in there, took the bus home. That's why I went to the ER. And getting x-rayed, you have to go get referral to get an x-ray at your regular, my primary care doctor. Or the ER, they took me to the x-ray department. No, the driver was supposed to call his dispatcher, which he didn't do. He was supposed to get my name and address. He didn't do it. He was supposed to call the police or an ambulance if I was injured. He didn't do it. He did nothing. And the county connection have already admitted that the driver was at fault. They've got the thing on video. But I tried to call a number of attorneys when it happened. I never got a call back. So I may just have to file a general claim and say I want 50,000 for pain and suffering, and they'll settle for maybe 10, and then we can have a Prius, and I can have a Silicon Mac Mini. I'll be happy. So they, if I got 10,000, I could be eating a lot healthier too, even if buying a Prius and a Silicon Mac Mini, which is about $2,200. I'd probably take a loan out of the credit union for that, and then I'd still have the money when I'm done. Make monthly payments. But, there's a thing on there about pain and suffering, and I've had incredible, horrible pain since New Year's Eve. And that you hear me moving around, just sitting here, it hurts. So the doctor says it's going to take months for this to heal. So, yeah, but the problem is to sue them for negligence, I have to have an attorney. And if the attorney doesn't see a major injury, I'd want an attorney tell me that the only way we'd take your case if you had died. That's how bad it is. It's pure greed. They're not going to make money. They won't talk to you. And it's a matter of you can't get justice unless you find someone willing to take the case, or they're going to make a ton of money. So the hospital worker that crushed me in the hospital back in August, it's August, September, November, December, I was in horrible pain for 4 months. The hospital did nothing about it. Well, UCSF requires to have a physical visit. You have to have a COVID test first. I've been tested for COVID 5 times. I've taken the first virus shot a week ago Friday. I have to call them tomorrow and make the new one for 3 weeks. But I'm waiting till after the first till I have booze and some sleeping pills. I'm not staying awake again for 19 straight hours. I'm knocking myself out. So, USCSF being in San Francisco, they're super paranoid about the COVID virus. So, the Chinese virus, as President Trump used to call it. Oh, I also had really bad eye headaches and headaches with that after I took, and blurring of the eyes, which was really bad. I couldn't see a damn thing for a while. For about 20 minutes, I couldn't see. They wheeled me down to the curb. So I walked up the hill and I was gasping for air. My knees do not like walking up steep hills. And I got them to wheel me down to the bus stop in a wheelchair. And I said, I ain't doing this again. They have an elevator going up the emergency room, and the shot area is next to the emergency room. So next time I do this, I'm going to walk up in the elevator to the emergency room, and then they can wheel me down in the wheelchair. I am not. But I have the test results right here, and they said negative. So I have a theory that I have because I have sinus infection, an injured back, injured knees, uh, asthma. I don't think the COVID is going to get to me. It has to stand in line to infect me. The sinus infection comes because I'm allergic to grass. There's a big lawn outside, and every time it rains, I keep getting sinus. And that's why I'm having a video visit on Monday to talk to the doctor about my. They were supposed to refer me before we got the first lockdown in March to the allergy clinic again, so I can get my allergy shots. If I get the allergy shots for grass, my sinus infections will go away. It's very frustrating. I saw an orthopedic surgeon. They MRI'd my left knee, and they said there was arthritis in it. That's why my left knee is now bad. It didn't used to. Ow! I just touched it. It didn't with my hand. It didn't like that. And they did not MRI the right leg. I wish they had. I'm going to ask the MRI the right leg, which is a major pain. You got to sit in that tunnel for like an hour and a half. And one, I got ice cold in there, and two, my legs started to cramp up and started to hurt. So I'm not going to get $1 million. If I'd broken my kneecaps, then an attorney would take the case, because there would be a physical injury, but a soft tissue injury is not going to get me mega bucks. But I'll get money for negligence somehow. I just don't know. They may just settle for $10,000, and I'll have to take it. We need a car, and if I have a car, my knees will get better, my weight will get better, because I won't be walking around, hobbling around in pain. Because there's times when I walk, I have to lean on parking meters because it hurts so much. Oh, I won't. I don't want to get thrown off of YouTube by saying anything, but you can imagine what I think about that comment about the evil trolls getting let's just say they get anything that's coming to them because they are sociopaths and psychotics. And I do not wish them well by any means, but I'm not going to say what I think they should get or not get. But there is a just God out there, and he punishes the unrighteous. Or as Simon Templar, the saint, used to say, the ungodly. He usually referred to criminals, but in some cases these people are criminals. They violate the anti-stalking laws in their state and the cyber harassment laws. So I have seen an orthopedic surgeon for my back, my ankle, my knees, and this right rotator cuff is torn. And before the lockdown in March, I was supposed to go to physical therapy, which is useless. And then they said if the physical therapy didn't work, they were going to operate. But if you wait too long, you can't operate. It sets in. I've torn it now. This is the second time I've torn my right rotator cuff. And that means I can't lift anything. I can't carry anything heavy on the right. I'm right-handed. So it causes a real problem. Ah! E. Yeah, I know the feeling. Well, this knee, the right one, got injured. I gotta learn to stop hitting my knee with my hand. This knee got injured when I fell on an escalator on a local subway and landed on the inspection plate with both knees. And that's how the knee got a big fracture on the right side, and that's how the cartilage under the kneecap is floating. All they'd really have to do is open the knee up and take all the broken cartilage out, and my knee would stop developing fluid all the time and swelling up, but they don't do that. Well, I did a GoFundMe through my friend Curtis for going to Alien Con. We got something like $138. We needed $1,500 for us both to go to Alien Con, so that's not going to work. The trolls, anything I do, they attack. Oh, he's a con man, don't give to him. They tell people they produce videos. George Sander's a con man. George Sander's a welfare cheat. He's a Social Security cheat. He's an unemployment cheat. I'm not getting unemployment. I haven't worked for years. And I cheat the Internal Revenue Service, which is ridiculous also. So, except for some small investments, I have no, whoops. Tall cat dishes in this. I have no taxable income, so I did get an email saying now that I have $5 more in my account with this website that allows you to buy fractional pieces of Bitcoin. So every month I'll be buying $10 or $20 or $30 of Bitcoin, all I can afford. I'll have one 100th or one 1,000th or one 10,000th or 100,000th of one Bitcoin. And there was talk today. I think they're ridiculous on the latter. They were saying the hedge against inflation and financial disaster is Bitcoin and silver. I'm going, yeah, right. Silver is going to go up. It's $27 an ounce right now, roughly. I don't see silver going to where gold is, much of anything else. At one point, I can't figure it out. I know I saw it on the web. About 2 weeks ago, I saw it hit 35 briefly, but everywhere else I look, it says 27. So, I started buying my silver at 15 years ago. And by the way, I added up the value of all my silver the other day. Here are the pain pills. And I thought I had about $5,000 worth of silver, not counting one loan that's still in the coin dealer. I will be getting 3 loans out when we get the stimulus money. I thought I had about $5,000. Turns out I have about 1,500. So I'm very disturbed about that. So this is Flexeril, which helps with the muscle spasms. That was my back that was killing me. It felt like my whole back had been hit with that flaming 2x4. This is generic Motrin. And then I have my blood pressure medication and my medication for cholesterol. And one doctor said they think I'm pre-diabetic, and I told him, look, you've tested me for diabetes about 12 times. I don't have it. It doesn't run in my family. Yeah, this is the stuff I'm taking. 600 milligram ibuprofen. They only gave me a few. I used to get huge bottles, and then they said, well, you have a history of ulcers, so aggravate your stomach. I'd rather aggravate my stomach and not have the pain. And then generic for Flexeril. 1 tablet by mouth 3 times a day is needed for muscle spasms. Well, I started taking these and the back pain stopped, so thank God. Oh, this just came loose. And by the way, nobody ever does it. It really makes you mad. Oh, and I have some woman, she keeps hassling me. Oh, the trolls are hacking your stream. Your channel is down. And I said, bull. My channel was not down except for earlier tonight because this phone wasn't hooked up properly. It didn't have enough power. And she's getting really annoying. Tonight she came in and sent me an email that went to spam and said, you need to hook up your Ethernet. And I said, I don't have any Ethernet. I have a CoolTime. And CoolPad, I mean. And that gives me the internet. But it's hardly Ethernet. And it's certainly not a router. Okay, hold on. What I'm going to start after tonight is I'm going to take a suggestion by Wizzo the Clown. And at least once an hour, I'm going to blank out the camera if no one donates. Because I think after going into 10 years of doing this, and this is for checks, money orders, and gift cards for the cats and me, I think people should be helping support the channel so I can buy equipment and make repairs in my equipment and feed the kitties. I'm feeding right now like 10 or 11 kitties at times. This here is personal, but this cost me $18. This cost me $18, and overdue my bank account. For some reason, eBay jumped the page, the screen on my Mac, and it charged my bank account. And I talked to Bank of America, and they're being jerks about it. Oh, well, you got the item. You have to return the item to cancel the sale, and then we'll credit back the NSF charge. So I'm overdrawn. And then there's another item. No, it's a shirt I'm wearing. This was a personal, $18. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Charm Chip. I appreciate that. Now with 55,000 some subscribers, and every time I leave the live stream, I see I have 150 viewers. But right now there are 12 people watching, and earlier streams there might be 15, but they never donate. Yeah, you order it from Amazon or Chewy. Perfectly legal. I don't want it sent from, you go to Walmart and get the cat food because I don't know where it's come from. I wouldn't know if some troll was sending it to poison my kitties. But Chewy and Amazon, that's a reliable source that's not going to be tainted or the thing is going to be open and tampered with. I just got a bag of Friskies sent to me by Top Cat, one of my fans, and he's now sending me Meow Mix. The only problem with Meow Mix is their Meow Mix cups. I wind up at about 900 cups of salmon. Mama Cat and Kitten and Little Sweet Gray do not like salmon. So, Tiny One will eat salmon. Orangey loves salmon. It's his favorite thing in the world. Right now I must have about 30 cups of salmon. I buy these boxes of 24 and 8 of them are salmon. I wind up with all this salmon. And Pretty Gray, the long-haired, beautiful male kitty who shows up here from time to time on the balcony, he doesn't like salmon either. And I don't like salmon. So, you know, Amazon and Chewy are it. And anybody else who had cat food, that means I can spend more money on other things. Yeah, an evil troll who lives in Reno ordered pizza, and he sent me pizza my birthday one year that he paid for, and cake and chicken wings. And that was nice of him. But then he started getting evil. He ordered pizza from 4 different places and a Chinese food place and didn't pay for any of it. Which means they lose money, they lose gas, the driver gets no tip. I didn't have any money to tip them 5 times. When it comes close to the end of the month, I'm broke and living on limited income. And it's an evil thing to do. Now, I called all the places. The only one that got snotty with me was Domino's. I practically begged them to please stop delivering here unless it comes from my phone. But he was doing it from 60. He was in Livermore. I saw the receipt from the Pacifica Pizza, and he called from a phone number in Livermore about 40 miles away from here. So it's really rotten thing to do. If that were a hotel and a restaurant, it'd be defrauding an innkeeper. So I don't know whether if you order stuff from a restaurant or a takeout place and don't pay for it, you order by phone, don't pay for it, and have it delivered. But it's horrible. So. Well, people, I'm going to go because my knee is, the timer on this thing is not showing any elapsed time at all still, and I don't know why. Again, the casinos in California have not been open. I know there's tents at the California Grand, but they play poker there. If I'm going to go to a casino, I'm going to play blackjack or the slots. I know nothing about craps except a vague idea. I might have had enough money, but that's a rich man's game, pay baccarat. I watch a guy, Neely, who seems to get a lot of money off the slots. He's at some Indian casino all the time or in Vegas. But I have to go to Vegas or Reno, and for that we need a car. It's $80 to Reno on the train round trip, and then you need a hotel room. We don't have that kind of money yet. We're going to be saving up for a car. I could go to this smoke-filled, at least it was there the one time, there's a smoke-filled Indian casino in San Pablo that had more smoke than they were electing a pope, and all we could smell was cigarette smoke. And we got the free slot play in the giant slot machine, didn't win jack, and we spent about $20 in there. We bought ribs there in the restaurant, but they put mustard on them, which is really bizarre. They were horrible. Then we went back. And we have cards for the Atlantis, Harrah's. Boomtown had the worst hotel room and the worst bed I've ever slept in. It was like Fred Flintstone slept here. The bed was hard. The rocker went up sleeping on the floor. So, and the pandemic is around, so that's another thing. You've got to put masks on. They've got plastic separating the slot machines. You're not allowed to play more than one at a time. Like you used to, you could play 3 or 4 at a time. And it's just too much trouble. I wait till the pandemic's over, and then Kathy's never been to Vegas. No, they were building Thunder Valley. They were talking about building Thunder Valley when I lived in Sacramento. I've been to some Indian casino north of Santa Rosa. Drove there for 2 hours. Got there about 4:30 in the morning. It was fog. I thought Rod Serling was going to come out of the minute on the fog. Picture of a man and men driving in endless fog. And I got there and asked for coffee, and they looked like I was nuts. I played $3 in the machine, walked out, got back in my car, and never came back. So, the problem with pressing charges on trolls, I had to file a complaint. I have to know who they are. Go to the police, ask them to lodge a complaint. The police here are not cyber friendly. They don't know about. Even though there are cyber stalking laws in California, they don't know a damn thing about them. So that's the problem. And then you have to know the identity of the person. If they're out of state or in state, you have to go to that police department and file charges against them. And then the police have to decide whether or not to issue a warrant. Then you go to the district attorney. I can do it other ways once I get money. But I'd need about $11,000 to stop all the harassment on YouTube. And then a lot of this harassment by trolls would stop because they'd be driven off of YouTube forever. The attorney in Ohio that would sue them and have all their channels removed. But it takes $7,500 for that. I'm a little short this month. That's another reason why. If everybody gave me $20, actually, you had to give me 30% more than $20. It's for Super Chat's cut. But if all my subscribers gave me $20, I could pay that attorney, and we'd be closer to getting our I'd have my GoPro and my iPhone, and we'd be closer to having our Prius. And once I get the Prius, I'm going to get the stand for the GoPro and put it in the car and get the device for the Prius and the cool pad for the Prius, and then be live in the Prius or on my iPad when they get repaired. So, well, guys, I gotta quit. My knee is hurting. Yeah, why haven't I know of Discord, and I'm aware of IRC, but I don't know what IRC is. Red Eagle Politics keeps talking about Discord, but in order for me to have that, I really want to have a better device than this Android phone. Right now, I'm just worrying about getting my one iPad is supposed to be done. They fixed a loose charging port. The other one, I'm going to take the home button. I'll show that to you tomorrow. I'm going to take the digitizer, get that iPad repaired, the glass repaired again. And then when the stimulus, $1,400, if we ever get it, and Meet Kevin said we may not get it till April 6th, which is ridiculous. Then I'm going to do 2 secured cards, buy a refurbished iPhone 7 Red, and buy my GoPro 9. With the GoPro 9, I can go out and, do live streaming, I hope, on a GoPro. But I won't be going very fast. If I'm doing walking videos, you aren't going to see me walking very fast on foot. Well, the problem is I try to meet and greet where I said people pay $20 to meet me, and I would rent a series of vans because I was planning to have I already talked to a restaurant here. They're willing to do it, and they said you need to have at least 15 people show up. And then I was going to have a paranormal tour of Martinez. There are haunted places here. And then we all get in the vans. This is before the virus. And we all head to San Francisco. And I know every haunted place in San Francisco, and some in Oakland, some down the peninsula. And I do a haunted tour of San Francisco. And the $20 a head were to pay for the restaurant, the cost of renting the vans. I'd have to have a driver, of course, and insurance. And I was willing to have a big meeting. But no, everybody said, well, it's too far away. You're in California, we're back east, we're in the Midwest. We're east of the Rockies, west of the Rockies, or we live on Pikes Peak. Too far to go. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. If we go back to having regular UFO and science fiction conventions, and I have a hotel room, and for trusted members, ones that I know are not trolls, that are in the area wherever I happen to be, then I'd send out the word, there's a party in my room tonight, and that would be the meet and greet. Put a bunch of beer and ice in the bathtub, and put some hard liquor, and put some potato chips and munchies and vegetables and dip and all. Yeah, Curtis and I are friends. We never met. He's in the Midwest, but he started the GoFund on the GoFundMe page for Alien Con. We're friends. I haven't talked to him for a while. We've talked on the phone. And I've done 2 or 3 podcasts with him. I got to write him an email saying we should do another podcast. So, but the last time we were doing it, his wife had just had a baby, and then he had to deal with working and the baby. And now with the COVID, he was out there doing his businesses in electronics, setting up electronics for businesses and cameras and all, and security systems. And I don't know if he's doing it now or not, or can. So I see all kinds of vans running around with all kinds of electronics on the side of the vans. So somebody must be doing something, but it must be a lot harder to do it than it was. That fell down. What is under here? A cup. An inhaler. A piece of, and still no button for the bee. One of my inhalers fell on the floor. I have asthma. The B key in my keyboard keeps coming off. I keep picking it up and keeps falling. I got Scotch tape out of the thing. Alright, there's 2 cups off the floor. This may or may not have any use on it, or not. It's bent. So, he used to go to Vegas fairly often. And we were planning to go to Alien Con in Pasadena, and then also he and I were going to hook up and go to Vegas sometime. But the virus killed all that. And we figured for the 2 of us, because he'd have to fly out here, it would be about $1,500, and people weren't going to donate that kind of money. They all wanted to go to Alien Con, but they won't donate. I want to see you at Alien Con. And I did podcast Alien Con on my MacBook, but the stream kept crashing. So this is why I want a brand new Mac. And the Silicon One X may come out, and they may have that in a new MacBook or whatever. Luke Miami is talking about that today. Luke space Miani. He knows all about Macs, and so if I come up with $2,200 after we get a car, I will save up every dime I can for a new Mac. I like Vegas. I lived in Vegas for 2 years. I went to 2 high schools in Vegas. I met Frank Sinatra in Vegas. My mother sat the stars kids. There's nothing to do in Reno. There's a National Bowling Museum and a car museum, and there are no buffets in Vegas now. They're all closed because nobody's going. They're afraid of getting infected. So, but Vegas is the place to be when things are normal for entertainment, for the site. All my friends I have are from 1968. They're dead. So I have one friend offline, that's Paul, and he is having a biopsy for possible colon cancer, and so I may lose him. And I've known him since I was 16 in the Vegas days. So it greatly distressed me, and it wouldn't be great for him either if he dies on me. Then I've got no friends in the world, no personal friends. They're all gone. I've outlived them all, which is terrible. It's like a parents outliving their children. All my friends were mostly older than me, and they've all passed on, including my dear friend Maroney. No, I've been using Apple products actually long before there was a Mac. I have my Apple IIc right there, my Apple IIe, my Apple IIgs, an Apple II Plus, an Apple integer-based Apple. And then I have a Mac Mini, a MacBook, an iBook, a 2010 Mac with a broken screen. The hard drive's dead because Fuzzy pulled the power strip out and did something horrible to the hard drive. 2008 Mac here. This is the 2008 Mac. And the Mac Mini is a 2005, which I have to do some modifications on it once I open it up and get the chips, and I can increase the hard drive. And I'd have to open it up, pull everything out, put a new CPU in there. Might be able to add RAM. I've watched videos on it. My eye's starting to hurt too. I have dry eye. So this is going to run out long before the first. And then I'm going to be in deep pain. This is the only stuff that stops the pain for a while. I waste more dripping on my face than goes in my eye. But when the eye starts hurting, oh yeah, I go to Vegas. We're going to prom. Kathy is not an Art Bell fan. She used to listen a little bit, but when are you going to go to bed? I'm listening to Art. Shut up. And you know, Art used to do. I've done 6.5 hours on this thing before my knees got hurt again. Art used to do 5 hours a night, and he had a bad back. I saw a video with a picture of Art Bell's grave, and there's a couple things else I would be doing in Pahrump, and I'm not going to go into that. But I would definitely drive the 60 miles. It's a nice drive. It's a nice highway. And while we're there, go to the casino, go to Walmart. I remember Art talking when they put in a Walmart, and he talked about Pahrump getting its first stoplight when they had about 3,000 people. And there's someone there I need to talk to that I know, but only because I've talked to them on the phone, supposedly. And someone claims that's the real person who's emailed me, but I'm not sure. So I've got to talk to that person in person. But I would put flowers in Art Bell's grave and all of that. No, because again, it's the same as the knees. You got to find an attorney willing to take the case, and if they're not going to make, I had 3 attorneys tell me they're too busy. And I had a personal friend who's down the street 3 blocks. He'd take my case from being squashed in the hospital bed, but he's got too many cases. He said I would take the case, but I'm too busy. But most of his work is criminal work. So we see each other all the time in the post office. He has a P.O. box there, and he did work on one thing for me for free as a favor. But he said, if I didn't have all these cases, I would have taken your case and sued the hospital. You've got a case, but you got to find an attorney willing to take the case on a contingency basis, and a lot of attorneys aren't willing to do that. Okay, I gotta go. I'm having a major headache from my eyes, and I need to lie down, ice my knee down. So this is it for this one. I will be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna go over and get something tomorrow I need to get. I need to go get some toilet paper. Looked on Amazon. 12 rolls of toilet paper were only $6, but to ship it to me, it turned out to be $18. Ridiculous. Walmart sells these 4 for 89 rolls of toilet paper. I could get like For that money, let's see, dollar a roll, dollar a package. I could get 20 packs for that, not counting the tax. So, and I need to go out and they make a new appointment for a second shot. I need to go somewhere tomorrow. I promised Kathy I'd do her bag of laundry. I got to do that tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow. So you got this. Oh, thank you. Okay, wait a minute. You got. It says you got this. There's a creature there. I'm a little puzzled by that. So, no, I'm not going to visit Sherry. That's not who I'm going to visit. I'm not going to the brothel because Kathy will be with me. I'm not about to go to any brothel. Kathy would kill me. So I'd be buried in the desert, feet sticking out of the ground, you know. But there is someone there I need to talk to in person to see if that person is the real person or not. Well, it'd be a little hard because Andy Griffith has passed on. So, and the one attorney I did know, the two attorneys are, the other one is probably dead by now. Melvin Belli is long dead, personal friend, and was my and my mother's attorney. So, the attorney at one point for Jack Ruby. So, you know, there's an old saying: in order to make money, you gotta spend money, and there's, you know, you have to have money to hire an attorney, and I don't have it. If I had, I could hire an attorney. If I walked in with $1,000 as a retainer, they'd probably take my case in a heartbeat. But I don't have that kind of money. If my 5,200 subscribers would donate, I could hire an attorney and sue on the knees. So that's the problem. Poor people don't get attorneys unless they commit a crime. And I'm not committing any crimes, except that it's a crime that I'm poor. And I'd like to be richer one day. And I'm not making a lot of money off of YouTube, that's for sure. Not like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast. I'd like to have 10% of their money. I could move out of this place and buy a house. Watch the video today where Dean Martin's former man, actually there's two places. There's what he called the rest nest, or Asian rest nest. That's an opulent mansion. The house he used to live in has been abandoned. It's fallen apart. So, but that was like $6 million. All the furniture and stuff is still there, but it's in Palm Springs. I don't know if I'd want to move. And Frank Sinatra's house is up for sale for $4.5 million in one of his two houses, where the Rat Pack met. Space for 25 cars in the parking lot, a tennis court, pool, sauna, whirlpool. Guest house has multiple bedrooms. The main house has 8 bathrooms and I think 8 bedrooms. Be cool to live in Frank's, the chairman's house. Then they could have a big party. Come out to Palm Springs. We'll have security. Do Palm Springs, not strings. Have security, and you could meet me, and we'd have a weekend of fun. So, if I won the lotto, if I had lotto, I could afford to hire security. I need to get new teeth. My tongue keeps hitting my teeth. Okay, that's it for this one. Thank you, Jar of Jif, and thanks for coming in. I don't even know how many people were in here, because normally it says there's how many people in here, and it says 11 watching now. Never understand that. I get done, there's 150 people watch my video, but they aren't watching I'm on here. Where the hell are they? All right, have a good night. It's 12:32, and there's a kitty video to watch that's on my screen, a cute kitty video. So out of Korea or Japan, so I will watch that before I lie down and ice my knee down and move Fuzzy, because she's in the spot where my feet go. And I have to move the 2 kitty dishes. They don't always finish their food, and I went up tipping them over the night. The cat food gets all over my blankets. Yuck. Okay, see you tomorrow. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Look, I knew Frank Sinatra. If I had the money, I would buy his former complex in Palm Springs in a heartbeat, because it would be cool to live in Frank Sinatra's house, and I could hold a Maybe I could get a hold, talk to Nori and get my own TV show, the Frank Sinatra Psychic Investigation and Seance. People would watch it. I'd probably get well off having that. Try to contact Frank and Dino and Sammy and Peter Lawford. Maybe JFK for all I know. Maybe Marilyn Monroe, you know. Have a seance. Have a psychic investigators coming here. I won't forget about you, but you know, I'm in California. I got no choice. I'm poor. I'd be moving to Nevada right now if I had to. I hit the lotto. I'm gone. You won't see this apartment anymore. You know, the Berg has left the building. I hit the lotto. I move. I buy a mansion in Nevada, and I'm gone. Not going to be in Vegas. I've already picked it out because it'd still get hot in the summer, but I'd have central heat and air. I'd have zone air conditioning. I'd have my pool, my hot tub, and the guest house, and 40 acres of land and all of that. So I would be gone, and I'd have horses and ride a horse. You'd see me doing a video on a horse. Where am I going to attach my iPad on this horse? All right, that's it. Stay wet, warm, dry, or cool as the case may be. Hope you got heat and power and natural gas and enough gasoline for your car and a way to charge your devices. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Be safe, stay warm. I will catch you next time, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye for now.